Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, back with another episode from ECI Impact 2020. Today I have with me Robert Mascola, or Bob. Bob, could you tell us what your current role is?
Sure. Thanks for having me. I am the Chief Compliance Officer at Juul Labs.
I'm really interested in your role in helping the Fordham Law School create a compliance component, a compliance minor, a compliance class. Could you tell us about your role in that?
Sure. So, up until about a year ago, I was the Senior Director at the Fordham Law School program of Corporate Ethics and Compliance. And in that position, I came at the time that they were just starting to create a Master's in Corporate Compliance program online. They had the first, I think, in the country Master's in Corporate Compliance program at the law school, but that was on campus. And developing something online, it was really a different program altogether, because when you have an on-campus program, you get to borrow from all of the courses that the law school curriculum has. And when you're building something online, you're starting from scratch. So the job that I had was to build all the content to create a 30 credit hour master's program. I did that for 3 years. It was a real joy to participate in really part of maturing the profession to get a graduate level program dedicated to corporate compliance and to, I guess, educate the next generation of our leaders.
Did you actually teach one of the classes?
I did. So the students in the program have a few required courses. One of them is the last course that they take is the capstone. And so that is a course that I both developed and taught. So when I say developed, I developed the recorded lectures that the students have to watch and then would actually teach the live sessions. I taught a course on investigations, how to conduct investigations. I developed the Introduction to Corporate Compliance course, which is the first course that they take at the beginning of the program. I co-developed it. So there was a version of it, a version 1, and we decided to redo it, and that launched last fall. I am teaching the course for the first time this summer. 3 different courses two courses that I've developed, 3 that I've taught, and I'm looking forward to getting back into teaching after a year.
Did you have other lecturers or other people helping you to teach other courses?
Part of my role when I was at Fordham Law School was to recruit faculty, right? For my own courses, I had a guest lecture here and there, but that really wasn't what the course was designed for. We had events where we brought in people, but for my course, it wasn't a guest lecture-based course. My job, though, was to recruit faculty to teach the range of courses that the students were looking for. And the students there come from a very broad range of backgrounds. Some of them, let's say maybe a third of them, are financial services. It's a New York-based institution. That's not surprising, but as an online program, you can take the course from anywhere. So a lot of financial services, but then a lot of healthcare life sciences based, and then every other industry imaginable, including nonprofits. So the curriculum had to have a mix where we taught the generalities of creating ethics and compliance programs that was applicable across the board, and then more specialized courses that the students were interested, whether it was in financial services regulations or antitrust, environmental law, whatever it was, so that you knew what you wanted to get out of the program and you could find the courses that you were looking for. And my job in the role while I was there was to get people to come and teach.
My observation, I've taught a few classes over the years, but the people that take these types of courses are generally either very interested in the subject matter and sometimes are passionate about the subject matter. And I was wondering what your experience was with your students.
Generally speaking, students came to the program after being in the workforce for many years. So at least at Fordham, the school attracts working professionals, many of whom have been in compliance for some period of time, but it's a mix. Some students are compliance adjacent, so they're not really working in compliance, and others are looking to get into compliance to do a career pivot. What they all share is an interest in the topic, and so that can lead to some very engaging class discussions. It's an inherently interesting topic, as are some of our discussions from this morning's Impact Conference attest. You can have some very interesting discussions. The one that I listened to from this morning on, let's say, ESG and stakeholder primacy as a model for governance is a topic that I just talked about with my class last Thursday, and we'll talk about this Thursday. These are students who are interested in the topic, and frankly, the topics are very relevant to today, and so they generate lots of interesting conversations.
My other observation from teaching a couple of classes is when I started, it was generally confined to law students. But over the past couple of years, I've seen a much more diverse academic background. Certainly accountants, financial folks, but also people from organizational design and organizational behavior and other corporate disciplines. Did you see that, or are you seeing that in your program as well?
Yes, I would say that the program, in fact, exists to address that market need that you just mentioned. So, although the profession originally developed as an outgrowth of law departments, it quickly became clear that the skills you need to build an ethics compliance program are not unique to lawyers, and even beyond that, they're skills that lawyers don't necessarily have by nature of being lawyers. Okay, that meant that companies were not just looking for lawyers, but where was the opportunity for these non-lawyers to get educated in this? Law schools like Fordham recognized this and said, look, we have some expertise here. We can create a master's program that doesn't require that you're a lawyer. If you are a lawyer, you can come in and take it. You can get an LLM. If you're not a lawyer, you can take these courses and you can get a master's degree, so you're not qualified to practice as a lawyer, but you get a degree from a law school, and it shows that you have engaged in serious graduate level education in the field. And yeah, I think that I've certainly seen professionally a lot of the best contributors in my professional experience don't have law degrees. And now I've taught several dozen people who don't have JDs, who are going to be great contributors to the compliance profession. Yeah, I think lawyers will always be part of the compliance profession, but they don't have the dominant role that they used to have in the field, and I think that's fine. That's the way it should be.
Bob, unfortunately, we are near the end of our time, but before we leave, if our listeners wanted any more information on the Fordham program, what would be the best place for them to go to find out about it?
You could just do a Google search for Fordham Masters in Compliance, and you would see that, and it will jump you to a page where you can learn about it. It's fordham.edu if you want to start out that way, and from there you could learn about the curriculum and see if it suits you. There are other programs out there, so Fordham isn't the only one. I think Fordham was the first that's out there, and I'm partial to it because of my role there. Start there and look at others that might be suited to your particular area of interest, but that's where you would go.
I wanted to thank you for taking the time to visit with me, and I look forward to continuing this conversation.
Thank you very much.